what's interesting or surprising about Jesus's response to Mary?
Oh, so many things. One, I think it's neat that he responds to Mary with tears. He responded to Martha with truth, and he responds to Mary with tears, like he's crying. And the Greek word for deeply moved is, I can't pronounce it, but it's a word that means sort of to snort with anger. It's not just deeply moved, like I'm kind of sad. It's like I am lividly angry. And I think he's lividly angry at death and sees all that the curse of death has done. And
Mm.
he's also moved at the grief of his friends. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
Jesus knows he's about to raise Lazarus. He knows it's going to happen in 3 minutes, or I don't know how long it is, but very soon. And yet he cries.
I
And
think that,
I
that
love that
I think,
passage because it shows Jesus cares. Like for us, it's not that he's saying, look, there's purpose. I'm going to rescue you one day. I'm going to give you this experience like I gave Shannon and Vaneetha. Like it's all going to be fine. Jesus sits with them and weeps.
mm,
And so he's not this far off, like, hey, there's a purpose, be happy. This is hard. And I hate this for you. Like
mm,
I am snorting with anger. I hate that you are so troubled that this has happened. And that's the beautiful part about this is it's not just, okay, you're going to see my glory. So this is going to be wonderful, but I am sitting with you and I am crying with you and I am drawing near to you because this is so hard. So I think that's such a beautiful part of this passage.
oh, I completely 100% agree. And this isn't just theoretical. He's in it with them. He's like you said, and I heard Brad Gray preach a sermon on this passage. And again, it talked about how it's like a snorting, the word that he was deeply moved. It's more than just sadness. It's an anger. We don't really have an English word for it. And he demonstrated it like that, like that snorting, like this, I'm so angry. That like an animal would do. And oh, I mean, that just moves me to know that's how Jesus, I hate this for you. You are my dear friend, and I hate this for you. I hate that you have to go through the consequence. I never designed this for you. When I created the world, death was not part of it. And he is face to face with the effects of the fall, and he hates it for us. And
Yeah.
he is the resurrection and the life. He is the one who can respond to it. He's the only one who can do something about it. But yeah, I agree. I love that he enters in and he feels the emotion. And I love, like you said, he gave Mary truth. He gave Martha tears. It says that Jesus wept. It's like the word is like he burst into tears, like they're just overflowing from his soul. Again, he knows, like you just said, he knows he's going to raise Lazarus, and yet, like he knows that about your baby, right?
Yeah.
He knows that he's going to raise this baby from the dead, and he knows that the thing that I was going through when I was in that car that day. I mean, I'm living the other side of that story. It's a sunny day. God has healed so many things. There was nothing to worry about. There was nothing to fear in that car. And yet Jesus was with me.
Yeah.
And, I think that if he loves me, that false narrative, if he loves me, he won't allow me to go through that. Well, if you erased this story, like I wonder, I think I posed this question in the episode with Mary, Cassie, and like, if Mary and Martha and Lazarus could choose to just take this story out of their story, never experience it, I wonder if they would,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
What do you think?
I think they would absolutely not because they got to see the glory of God. And it's interesting that question, Shannon, because we ask, if God loves me, how could he let this happen? Like, why did this happen? God can't love me. But I think if we are firmly grounded in God's love, which we see Mary, Martha, and Lazarus were, I mean, it's twice in 5 verses um, that Jesus loved them. We would change that statement to instead of if God loves me, because God loves me.
Mm,
Because God loves me, why did this happen? And that changes everything. It's like,
that's so
okay,
good.
wow, God
Yeah.
has a purpose in this. It turns that question on its head when, Satan is the deceiver and he wants to start with if what God said is true is true. That's what he said to
Mhm.
Jesus in his temptations is, if you are the Son of God. So Satan wants us to start our questions with, if God loves me. And Jesus wants us to say, because God loves me. Why did this happen? And
That's
then we're looking for God. We're looking for purpose. We are looking for evidences of God's glory in our story. And I think that changes our experience of suffering in the middle of it.
so good. I love that. I'm going to hold on to that, because he loves me.